one of the people involved with the case, one of the officials, was a person by the name of Stephen Parry. Stephen Parry is an ex-cop. So, listeners, your ears should be going up. He is an ex-cop. He's also an embalmer. He was charged with leading the team that embalmed the bodies. So at the end of this incident, when the bodies were brought together, and a strange thing here, inexplicable, Tasmania happened to have a 22-body air-conditioned mortuary vehicle. Now, this would be the only one in Australia. It was built before the incident, and we believe it was built for the incident.
Jesus.
Because immediately after the incident, it was put on the internet for sale. Okay, so Parry runs the embalming team, and from, I think it was 25 bodies they were supposed to have done, alleged to have done. Again, the numbers, can you really trust them, whatever. But he did 25 these bodies according to the internet and the reports. So that was the end of that. But not so fast, because time moves on, and Mr. Parry moves up in the world. Mr. Parry is now the President of the Australian Senate, which is equivalent, roughly, to the House of Lords in England. He is the President of the Australian Senate, former cop, qualified embalmer, now President of the Senate.
Jesus Christ. Reward.
So what? Yes. So what do you think? Reward. But there's something else. In a little-known book that I didn't discover but was brought to my attention, and I'm telling you the reference is in the book, this Parry wrote a seminar paper, and it's published in a government document. And I will just read out what this Mr. Parry said in his seminar paper, dated 1997. 1 year after the incident. Now, I'll quote exactly. I was particularly impressed. This is Parry. I was particularly impressed by the quick response and initiatives by some of the team members in packaging and collecting equipment. Now, this is embalming equipment. The response time and the amount of equipment quickly relocated was fantastic. So he's the team leader, and he's bringing all this embalming equipment together in Hobart. Now comes the punch. One firm in particular, Nelson Brothers in Melbourne, Victoria, funeral services, had organised for an embalming machine box and a special large equipment case to be manufactured ready for the incident.
Oh, Jesus.
Those are the exact words of Parry. These 2 containers were the envy of all embalmers and worked extremely well. They are Parry's words in Parry's paper, which is published in a government document. Now, last week, a show cause notice was issued on the President of the Australian Senate, Mr. Stephen Parry. And of course, we have not heard a thing yet from Mr. Parry. He has until the 16th of March to clarify his words. And if he doesn't, that tells us that he's standing by his words, and he knew at the very, very latest 1997, but probably in 1996, that Nelson Brothers Funeral Service in Melbourne, Australia, had manufactured embalming equipment ready for the incident.
Prior knowledge.
right there. So we will then move ahead with the President of the Australian Senate, and we will go after, big time, Nelson Brothers.
Presumably, you being, an educated man, a clever man, you have shared or will share this information with the Australian media to challenge them to pick up the baton, because this is absolutely crucial evidence in proving that there was prior knowledge this was going to happen.
Absolutely. But you wait and see, Richie, and see what the media does. Yeah. They'll run. They'll absolutely run. And right now, I'm challenging the barristers in Tasmania. Emails, quite strongly worded emails, have gone to 4 of them. There's another one on the list. No reaction. Very quiet.
That's
and all barristers are officers of the Supreme Court. They're all in Hobart, and Martin Bryant, mentally handicapped Martin Bryant, is dying within a few kilometres from where they sit in their tossy little posh bloody barrister holes. For your listeners, the book, I didn't write this book to make money. It's available from me for free as a PDF. All the documents I've mentioning, just email me. Lots of emails I have on the internet. Get to me. I'll provide copies of it. It's not a problem. It makes me sick that this whole system is so corrupt, and it goes against everything I believe in and what I was raised. And I think any decent person can see through this. Now, it doesn't mean to say everyone has to do something, but you understand how corrupt the system is, how corrupt. I must put in a plug before we go to a very, very helpful and a very, very dedicated person by the name of Cherry Bonnie. Her song, Wish I Knew How to Be Free, is available on SoundCloud and YouTube, and she wrote it for Martin. She did the music, the lyrics, and the words. And the vocals, I'm sorry. And it's you can get it anytime. It's there. It's free. And
I'm going to give it a spin next week on the program. I'm definitely going to do that. I'm going to get a good version of it, a good audio version of it, and I'll keep mentioning next week. I'll keep mentioning your email address as well. Give us your email address then. You are being very generous, because writing a book and getting it out there isn't cheap, and it is available online, folks. If you can afford it, go to amazon.co.uk. If you can afford it, and buy the book. If you can't genuinely afford it, and if you're being honest and you can't afford it, send Keith an email. But tell me, Keith, what's the email address?
Okay, the book has a red and white cover if you're looking for it. There's a couple of others, but there's a red and white cover. Email address, Martin Bryant is innocent, all one word, Martin Bryant is innocent @gmail.com. Second address, Big Worm Books, one word, Big Worm Books @gmx.net.
Fantastic. I'll get those tweeted out so that people can get in touch with you. I'm delighted to have met you. I really am. A big thanks to Claire for following the story and getting you on. Claire, who produces the programme with me. It's horrible to be talking about stuff like this. It really is. But people have to understand that it goes on, because you have to understand people, what sort of world we're living in and who it's run by. And that has to come to an end sooner rather than later. I think you're brilliant, Keith. I really do. If it wasn't for guys like you, mate, we'd be in some trouble, because it only takes one man or one woman. You know, everybody, one person can make a difference. You're living proof of that. It was an honour to talk to you, Keith. Thanks so much for doing it.
Okay.
I look forward to catching up with you again real soon. I really mean that. Bye for now, my friend, and Godspeed to you.
Good night, Richie. Thank you for everything.
Not at all. We haven't done very much. That was Keith Allen Noble on there, the journalist and author, PhD. A man, it sounds like, with a heart the size of Tasmania, disgusted by what's happened to Martin Bryant.